This is Religion in the News, sponsored by Wish TV, in cooperation with the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis.
Good morning, I'm J.R. Ryder. Welcome to our March edition of Religion in the News. Joining me today is Gabriel Campo, Faith James, and Merlin Gonzalez. We have a great show for you today as our guests talk about a dance worship experience, a retreat house for people of all faiths, and a Boxing Foundation's solution for Parkinson's disease. Stay tuned. Our thoughts and our prayers go out this morning to the victims and the families of those who were affected by Friday's devastating storms in southern Indiana and also in parts of Kentucky. Right now, that search continues for more survivors, and the state of Kentucky has declared that they are now in a state of emergency.
Good morning, I'm Gabriel Campo. My guest today is the director of the Fatima Retreat House, Father Jim Farrell. Welcome to the show, Father.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
Well, thank you for coming, and thanks for sharing with us this gem that's within Indianapolis. Can you tell us about Fatima Retreat House?
Yes, it is quite a gem. Our Lady of Fatima Retreat House is celebrating its 62nd year of service to the people of the city and beyond. We are a little island in the city. We call ourselves a place to be with God. And as we discuss that, we mean 13 acres. Most of it is woods with some trails, so that people can get out and enjoy nature. We have 63 semi-private rooms where people can spend the night. We sponsor a variety of programs that use our conference rooms and chapel. We have a full-service dining room so that folks can come with either one of the programs that we sponsor, or sometimes we host groups that have created a retreat experience and they're looking for a place to offer that to their church or their colleagues or peers.
That's a very robust gem in our city, and I know that the Fatima also has its own retreats and programs. What are some of the programs they offer?
Well, of course, you know we're in the big season for spiritual renewal and conversion during this season of Lent. So we have several things coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have two remaining weekend retreats. One is one I'm giving, March 16th and 18th, entitled Less Talk, More Prayer. It'll be a lot of silence and quiet, but there'll also be some prayer experiences and a few spiritual conferences on how to help your prayer life to grow stronger. Later in the month, on the weekend of March 30th to April 1st, Father John Mark Edishon, he's an oblate of Mary Immaculate, will be coming back to the city to do a retreat called Transformation, letting your soul grow. And he'll be talking a little bit about the experience of growth in the spiritual life. He gave this retreat last year, and the people who attended were very lifted up by it and gave great evaluations. So we invited him back so that it might reach a wider audience. We also have a monthly program called A Day of Silence, which is very popular with folks. They come out and they get a room for the day. We provide a continental breakfast and lunch, and they have the use of our facilities and our grounds for the day of silence. There are no presentations, but everyone seemed to enjoy having this time of solitude to interact with God in a deeper level. We have some other programs that are coming up that are of interest too. We have a new experience. It's an evening program, and it's kind of based on that idea of wine and canvas. And it's Katie Som is coming to give a little conversation and a practice in the experience of letting our faith be expressed through art. And that's on the evening of March 19th. And then later, after Easter, we have some exciting programs coming. Father Michael Mara, the pastor of St. Mary's, is coming to give a program on finding God in the garden. And here is an opportunity to kind of realize the spiritual experience of working with your hands, seeing the way God works with you as you bring about a beautiful garden of flowers, or you bring about food for the table. And then later in May, we're having Father Vince Lampert, the Archdiocesan exorcist, will be giving a presentation on exorcism and its relevance for today. And he'll be talking about the way Hollywood portrays devil possession and how that contrasts with the reality of evil in the world. And he'll also be talking a little bit about his experience as one of the 50 working exorcists in the United States. So we're looking forward to that. Matter of fact, we expect a sellout crowd, so we've moved it to a larger location. We'll be hosting that at St. Pius X Church. You know, information about Our Lady of Fatima can easily be found on the website at www.archindy.org/Fatima. We look forward to folks visiting us there. We're also on Facebook now, and hopefully folks will be connecting with us.
Father, it seems with all the programs that you've mentioned, you really have tried to tailor it to each individual possible needs out there. For the person maybe needing silence in their lives or those interested in exorcism. Do you find that people are also wanting other areas that maybe they can explore themselves if they want to come in and have their own retreat too? Absolutely.
We have sometimes folks who come out for a private retreat. They can get a room and be on their own for a day or several days. And sometimes we have a wonderful program a couple times a year now called a Silent Directed Retreat, where you come for 3 to 5 days of pure silence. You meet once a day with a spiritual director for an hour. And that director guides you through the scriptures and your life story to help discover the presence of God more deeply in your personal life. Another thing that we do is we offer hosted programs where someone comes in with a retreat, and one of those that's coming up that's very important is Rachel's Vineyard. And that's coming up on the weekend of March 23rd to the 5th. And that's for post-abortive women and men who have been affected by the experience of abortion. This is a healing retreat that many people find very, very consoling and helps them to be at peace with this decision in their past to either abort their child or if their wife or girlfriend has aborted a child of theirs.
Well, Father, it seems like this gem really is a gem not only for individuals but for groups, and the program and the direction that you've taken it is to reach everybody's needs, and I'm thankful that you're on this program so we can highlight it. Thank you so much for all that you're doing in the community and for the people in their faith journey. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Now, Faith, back to you.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Good morning. I'm Faith James. Coming up next, my guest talks about how she went from dancing in the streets to praising on her feet. You don't want to miss her testimony when we return next on Religion in the News. Welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is Roshonda Johnson. She is the CEO of Worship Couture. Welcome to the show, Roshonda.
Thanks for having me.
So before we talk about your Worship Couture line, you were just featured in a magazine called Couture Living back in November, December. I think we have a picture of that. In that magazine, you talked about shaken but not shattered. Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Well, growing up, I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, and growing up, I didn't have the typical childhood like most little girls dreamed of. I became addicted to sex. I became a sex addict at a very young age.
Can you say addicted to sex? Because
yes.
Sometimes you think about addiction, you think about, I'm addicted to alcohol and to drugs, but you was addicted to sex.
Yes, sex addiction is very much so real. Sometimes your body goes through things that you don't understand. And I just, I thank God that I was able to realize it before I actually destroyed my life completely.
How did you come out of that addiction? I know you said in your in the magazine article that you journaled a lot.
I journaled a lot, yes, because when you're going through that kind of process, you're ashamed, you don't feel like you're worthy, you don't want to turn to anyone, you don't want to talk to anybody, so I journaled a lot, and I have stacks of journals, and it was a way for me to free myself. And in that, I realized, hey, this is an addiction. And I was able to, I did pray, but I felt like with everything that I had gone through that God kind of gave up on me. But, just holding on to my faith and just really seeking Him for myself and not what other people told me, I was able to overcome it.
Now, you said you was from Brooklyn, New York. How did you end up in Indianapolis, Indiana?
Well, my sister, she convinced me to come out here because after, 9/11, things got really bad, and I had 3 kids, and it was rough. And God linked me up with my amazing then boyfriend, husband now, Russell Johnson, who was like, come on, packed us up, and we just left. And we came to visit, and we've been here ever since.
So you're married now with 3 kids.
Yes.
So, and you're not married to their father?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not married to their father, but I couldn't ask for a better father for my children. He's amazing.
So also here, when you're here in Indianapolis, and this is 2012, you graduated from the Art Institute.
Yes.
Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Well, at the beginning, I didn't even know how to sew. I didn't know how to do anything. But I've always had this passion to adorn myself and other dancers, because I am a dancer in the church. Because of everything that I went through, I feel like my body, me, is the only thing that I have to offer God. So with that, just like the priests need to be dressed, I feel like we should come before God dressed appropriately as well, regardless of what our backgrounds are. And that's how.
So you went to school, you didn't know how to sew, and I think you have an item over there, and you
Yes.
actually sewed this yourself.
Yes,
Show our viewers what you have there.
I actually make banners.
Oh, let me see. Can we kind of turn it?
Yeah, this way.
Wow.
This is a victory banner.
It says victory.
Yes.
And you actually made this with your own 2 hands.
Yes.
And this is a part of your line. Tell us a little bit more about your line.
My line is called Worship Couture. The garment that I'm actually wearing is also a part of my line. Worship meaning adoration to God, and couture is high fashion. So it's basically, in essence, high fashion for the kingdom.
And how important is it, real quick, that we adorn ourselves in proper clothing like that when we are dancing?
Well, the Bible says our body is the temple. So we need to keep ourselves as such, and it's important to me as a former addict to adorn myself to glorify and gratify God.
Now, speaking of dancing, we do have a treat for our audience, but before we do that, how can they get in contact with you about your Worship Couture line?
Oh, you can hit me on the website. It's www.worshipcouture.net.
Okay, so let's get ready for our surprise for our viewers.
Okay.
So as I stated, over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Rashonda has a special surprise for you viewers, and she is preparing herself right now. If you want to know more about her awesome testimony, you can go to Couture Living magazine, www.coutureliving, and you can check out more about Miss Rashonda Johnson and her testimony.